Hey guys, this is lesson 6.5 for course 2. So lesson 6.5 is about proportions. So you need to title your paper proportions. And you're going to see these models when you look in the book. And this model just shows you kind of a visual representation of a proportion. How you write it is a different thing. You're going to write it as two fractions equal to each other. So, one thing you need to know is you're always, always, always going to have 100%. Every single percent is out of 100, so you always put that on the bottom of one of your fractions. Now, if they give you a percent, that right here, they gave us 75%, that goes on top of 100. The percents always stay together. And then directly across from it goes whatever is directly across from 75, which is 30. And then directly across from 100 is 40. So you would set up your proportion like this. Now, it gets a little bit trickier because there are 3 different types of problems. You don't need to write these down. These are just examples that you will see. So you'll see 12.5% of 80 is what number? What percent of 60 is 52? 310 is 99% of what number? So you're going to have to solve these types of problems. All right, so here's the different ways. So write these down. Number 1, write down, find 65% of 245. All right, so how you do this is you're going to set up your two fractions like this. You're going to write a proportion. I always have 100, so you can automatically put that number in. Okay? Now, I look at my problem and I see, is there a percent? Well, yes, there is a percent. It's 65. So that goes above 100. Whenever there's a percent, it always goes above 100. Now, this next part's a little bit tricky. I don't know. Now, I only have one number left. Now, do I put it on the top of the fraction or the bottom? Well, the trick here is to look for the word of. Whenever you see the word of, the number directly after it is the total. So that would go on the bottom of this proportion. And then when you have an empty space, that's your x. That's what you're going to solve for. So you take out your calculator, and then you're going to solve this proportion. So I'm going to cross multiply. So 100 times x is 100x, and then 65 times 245, that gives me 159 or 15,925. And then I draw a line and I divide both sides by 100. Divide by 100, and x equals 1592.5. Oh no, I only divided by 10, sorry. 159.25. So that is my answer. So when you would use this is like, let's say you go to the store and you want to buy an Xbox 360. So this is $245. So if it's 65%, if it's 65% off, or if it's 35% off, I would only have to pay $159. So you would definitely use this when you're shopping or doing anything like that. So the second type of problem is this. What percent of 60 is 52? Now, set up your fractions. You automatically put your 100 down because there's always a 100. Now, is there a percent in this problem? Is there a percent in this problem? You should have written this problem down in your notes. This is number 2. So there is no percent in this problem. So that becomes my x. Now, so I look for a percent. Next, I look for the word of, and the number right after it goes on the bottom, and then 52 goes on the top because it's the last empty spot. So now I cross multiply. 52 times 100 is 5200 equals 60x And then I'm going to divide both sides by 60. So 5,200 divided by 60 is 86.7. Now, this is a percent, so it's 86.7%. You always have to look back in your problem and see what they're asking for. And they're asking for a percent, so then you put your answer as a percent. All right, the third type of problem, this is the last type of problem, is finding the whole amount. 207 is 46% of what number? So I automatically put down my 100 in my proportion, and then I look up and I see, is there a percent? Yes, there is a percent. It's 46, so I'm going to put that above 100. And then I have 207 left. Now, I look for the word of, and there it is, and the one directly after it, there isn't a number. So that becomes my x. Therefore, 207 goes on the top. So then I cross multiply, and I get 20,700 equals 46x. I divide both sides by 46. And I get 450 equals x. So 207 is 46% of 450. All right, try these three problems. You can use your notes, and then we will go over them. Push pause. All right, so I'm going to set up my proportion like this, and I'm going to put 100 at the bottom. I can do that for all three of these problems, remember. So it says, what percent of 250 is 138? So I don't have a percent, so that's my x. Here's my word of, and then one right after it's 250, so that goes on the bottom, and then 138 goes on top. I cross multiply, and I get 13,800 equals 250x, and then I divide by 250. You should be checking your work to make sure you did this. And so x equals 55.2%. Remember, they wanted it as a percent. They asked, what percent? So you have to answer it as a percent. 55.2%. Okay, next, I'm going to set up my proportion. I always have 100 on the bottom. And then I look for a percent. Oh, there is one. There's a 15%, so that goes above 100. And then I look for the word of. The number right after it goes on the bottom, and then I leave, and the last space is x. So I cross multiply, I get 100x equals 15 times 15 is 225. And then I divide by 100. So x equals 2.25. And it says, what is 15% of 15? So 2.25 is my answer. And lastly, I'm going to set up my proportion. I'm going to put 100 at the bottom. And then I'm going to look for a percent. There's 46, so that goes right here. I look for the word of, and the word number next right after it. There isn't a number, so that's x. And then 207 goes on the top. So 207 times 100. And then equals 46x. And then I divide by 46. Equals 450. Did we just do this problem? Oh well, extra practice. All right, that is it for your notes.